Now, Eddie, what up, Q?
Hey,
Speak to the people.
hey, y'all.
You
Um,
sound, are you sick? You under the weather?
I under the weather. Just.
All right. Folks, today the title I show is that time for something new. And the reason I say it's time for something new is that we need to give young people a chance, and it's time for us to do things different. It's time for us to do new things, and we haven't been doing that, and it's time for us to do that now. And the reason I say it's time for us to do that now is because we're in dire straight. Like it's time for us to lead the Democratic Party, in my opinion, in droves. We need to stop just voting Democrat. If you was to go into a Democratic courtroom or look at a Democratic mayor or anybody like that, put my hat on so I can just look the best I can. You know what I'm saying? Boy, I look like Dudley Ho Senior. What up, Tool Belt? I bet y'all miss hearing me talk about Tool Belt. But that Tool Belt ain't no joke now. That's the reason why he called Tool Belt, because he gonna make something with Tool Belt. I think I put my hat like that. Well, which way I think I should wear this hat? I can't figure it out. How about I just leave it on like that?
Yeah, just leave it on like that, cause.
All right. Again, I like to say good evening. Title of the show is Time for Something New. It's time for something new. If we go and we look at things and how we've been doing things, and when I said we, I'm talking about we as a people. We haven't been doing good as a race of people, and we need to lead the Democratic Party. We need to not necessarily we can't vote Democrat, because there comes a time where we can't vote Democrat, especially if the person looking at the person report card look at their qualifications, make sure that they're the most qualified person for that position. And that's what the Democratic Party has not been doing. The Democratic Party, in my opinion, has not been giving us the most stellar people in the community, or the people that are the most qualified, which will get to my topic. When I say it's time for something new, I think Jimmy Smith should not have been elected mayor. I think Weston Linderman should have been elected mayor. Young, progressive, and open-minded and community-oriented. You can't wear your feelings on your sleeve. You can't get upset if the city council not doing things your way. You can't get upset when things don't go like you want it. You got to look at your constituency. You got to look at the overall community. I tell you, I go downtown Meridian, I can't even recognize it now. It's hard to believe when you go downtown Meridian that Meridian is a majority black city. The only indication that Meridian is a majority black city if you was to go to jail or go into the city courtroom. Then you can tell it's a majority black city, because the majority of the people in those places are black people. When you go and look into the jails, of which I had the opportunity to spend one night in there, the majority of the people that are in the jails are black people. I was reminded of slavery. I seen them doing, the 13th Amendment to the Constitution allowed it repealed slavery. Slavery became illegal in the United States, except for when you're incarcerated or you go to prison. So when I spent that one day there, I was reminded it was traumatic for me, by me coming into the knowledge of the truth, by me having this understanding and knowing what I know. It was traumatic for me to see the people outside working and not getting paid, because it reminded me of slavery, having inside a fence, you corral, you can't go and you can't do. And I tell you something else too. I am going to sue the city of Meridian, Kemper County Sheriff Department, the Meridian Police Department, and the state of Mississippi. And the reason why I'm going to sue the state of Mississippi is because the Mississippi has a statute that allow for you to put a person in jail. If I'm not mistaken, I've read that. If I'm not mistaken, the statute allow for you to put a person in jail if it's a domestic situation. Say two people or two anybody fighting, you can put one in jail, give them time to cool down. But it's not to be used as a tool to promote any kind of agenda, or because you're angry at someone, or you just want to show them that you had the power to put them in jail. Either way, let's assume that they caught me and had to break me up for fighting or for whatever. If somebody make a warrant for my arrest, they got a right to do so. But if you put me in jail before I get found guilty, I got a problem with that, and I'm not gonna let that boat float. I promise you, I'm not. I am going to sue the city of Meridian for making that decision. It would have been better to not put me in jail for one day. I always thought it was a bad law. I don't understand, folks. Laws are not right. Laws are not for laws doesn't necessarily mean that they'll stand a constitutional test. So laws have changed. Look how they done struck down affirmative action. Roe versus Wade, Roe v. Wade, where a woman have a right to choose whether or not she wants to have a child, which I think a woman should have that choice. Race-based admission has been struck down by this Supreme Court. We talking about white men now. We talking about old white men telling other folks how they need to live their lives and what they need. Well, I know you got one young white female, but the majority of the people to make, even if she had not said anything, kept her mouth shut, you still had these old white men and this old bigot Negro, Clarence Thomas. He showed name right. Thomas, short for Tom or Uncle Tom, which is not fair to the original Uncle Tom because he really wasn't. But it means Uncle Tom means that it's a person that sold out their people, but Clarence Thomas done sold out everybody. And what's amazing, what's perturbing, what's disturbing is that these people's getting all these perks from these lobbies, these wealthy people. They have, I mean, spending millions of dollars from their friends, and they don't see anything wrong with that. And these are the people that we have making decisions about our lives. And that's the reason why I say it's time for something new. It's time for them to have term limits on all that stuff. I think they need to have term limits when it comes to governor, when it comes to president, and they do. I think they need to have term limits when it comes to representatives, senators. I think they need to have term limits when it comes to judges. I just think so. I think it should be term limits, term limits, term limits. I don't think anyone should get in there and get to the point unless the people put them back in there. But a lot of these people, if you look at we're gonna say the sample ballot that they're sending out to everybody, you'll notice that a lot of the people that are running for office does not have an opponent, and I think that's wrong. Ted Reynolds also sent out in an email a list of disenfranchised and things in the state of Mississippi. It said, according to the Attorney General's opinion, that if you folks, I'm gonna read this list to you. I'm gonna let Q come up in a minute, and she's gonna talk about some things, and I'm gonna go and I'm gonna print that because I want to read that list to you based on an Attorney General's opinion. They have about 20. There's only 10 in the Mississippi Constitution. The legislature, the Senate, the House, they have never did an amendment to the Constitution. So these things are the disenfranchising people, keeping them from voting, which affect mostly Black people, keep them from voting, is an Attorney General's opinion. Circuit clerks all over the state of Mississippi in every single county went and changed the certification when you say that you have never been convicted of this. They put all those things on there without going before without a constitutional amendment, and that's wrong. And that's the law. They're in error with that law, but they never challenge it. Q, you come up and talk to the people a minute while I go and look at that, okay? What is it you're gonna talk about?
Oh, I wanted to talk about how they just giving YNW Melly the death penalty, and like they ain't got no proof that he did it. All they going, huh?
You assuming that everybody out there know who that person is.
Well, I was getting to that. I was getting to
take
telling
me
you.
off of it, and you come up and let me go and do my research.
Anyways, YNW Melly, I forgot his real name, but he's a rapper from, what is it, Dade County, I think, but he's in Florida, and they're trying to give him a life sentence over killing his two friends, YNW Juvie and YNW Sack or whatever. But the thing is, they don't have actual proof that he did it. Like they're going off of his song, they're going off his hit "Murder on My Mind," basically saying that that he admitted to doing the crime. And then on top of that, they're saying that it was that he sent out a text message saying that he did it. But the judge went back and said that, oh, you can't use lyrics as evidence. So basically they can't use the song as evidence, and they were still trying to use the song as evidence after the fact that the judge said that. And so we're like, what makes me, and then on top of that, they made a witness, I think, like what, like stand down or something like that, because she was saying basically that he basically wasn't there. And so they basically took her off the stand because they didn't want her, she didn't do what they wanted her to do. And so yeah, I think all of this is just it's honestly crazy, because like why would you like, for one, okay, you go after a famous rapper just because he's famous and you want to give him life, uh just because he's a rapper. And then, but like my thing is like, I mean, why give that man death penalty? Why don't y'all just let that man go instead of keeping him locked up for no reason? Because I mean, they don't have no type of actual proof that he did it. And so why y'all still holding him in? Why y'all still got him in jail? Like, why y'all still got him in prison, basically on death row? Like, there's no reason for you to have him on death row, in my opinion.
Mm. I share that opinion also. And like you and I was looking at King Von, how he got killed, and so we actually went back and did some research on that. For this man here actually was extremely dangerous. Didn't
Mm-hmm.
look like it, but he's tied into about 12 different murders. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he actually was singing about the life that
Yep.
he was actually living the life. And but I want you guys to see this. I kind of like, I don't know whether you can see it or not. This is the list of things that disenfranchise you. I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read it to you. But it's arson, armed robbery, bigamy, bribery, embezzlement, extortion, felony bad check, felony shoplifting, forgery, grand larceny, murder, obtaining money or goods under false pretense. Now, I want to go back and tell you about extortion, felony bad check, and felony shoplifting. They're not on there. They're not a list of disenfranchised. These are the things that the Attorney General added on there. Also, receiving stolen property, theft, timber larceny, unlawful taking of a motor vehicle, that's carjacking. And then it's got carjacking on there, and then it has voters fraud. These are things. So you have went from 10 to 23. Now listen at this. Now I'm gonna read it to you. Disenfranchising crime based on the most recent Attorney General's opinion, dated July 9th, 2009, the following compromise disenfranchising crimes. And it's Ted, right? You tell he got all this education. Ted, they got stuck in my throat then. But anyway, this is based on Attorney General's opinion, folks. So that's not a law. Remember that Attorney General's opinion is an opinion. It's not a law. But they've used this to keep so many black people from voting. And that's sad. And we got to get away from that. It's time for something new. I'm on the side of the law. I am. And it bites me in the behind. But when I think that law is wrong, then that is something that needs to be challenged. I think that someone that's not allowed to vote should challenge this and take this in the federal court. I it's one, and let's just talk about a couple of things. I want to go. I wanted you guys to read that. Meridian and Lauderdale County have upcoming elections, and of course, throughout the state of Mississippi, they have elections coming. And you have Ricky Roberts, and you have Gerald Johnson, that actually grew up with my brother David. He's one of our friends. Grew up, used to be a police officer with the Meridian Police Department. Was running for sheriff on the Democratic ticket. And you have, of course, Ricky Roberts, and you have Ward Calhoun running on the Republican ticket. Now, I'm going to just tell you that there's no way that I think that Gerald is going to win, be either or those. And I think that now I'm thinking that I'm just tell you, I might be wrong, but it's my opinion that Ricky Roberts is going to win this job for be the sheriff. of Lauderdale County. I just think so because I only heard one person say negative and bad things about him and the Roberts family. But I haven't heard anyone else say anything. I've been out and I've talked to people, and everybody seemed to be supportive of Ricky Roberts being the next sheriff of Lauderdale County. I may be wrong. I've been wrong before, but that's my opinion, and that's who I'm throwing my support behind. Wayman Newell. Wayman Newell has a Republican opponent. I don't think his Republican opponent is going to beat him in the Republican primary. On the Democratic side, you have Carlos Wallace and you have Craig Houston running for the third time for a supervisor of District 2. I don't think that I say this. I don't think that Carlos is going to be Craig, but then again, you never can tell. And I don't think either one of them is going to be Wayman Newell. I'm supporting Wayman Newell. I supported Craig twice. I'm not supporting him this time. Carlos Wallace Collin asked for my support. I told him that I was not an advocate of the Democratic Party. So when a person tell me they running as a Democrat, again, I think that person too is expecting most people to fall lockstep in place and vote for them just because they're a Democrat. And that's what the Black community has been doing. And I'm guilty of that myself. I have done that. I voted for a person. I voted straight Democratic ticket before because I call myself a Democrat, but I'm not a Democrat now. I'm a conservative independent voter is what I am. Who's actually voting more Republican than I am Democrat. You know, my brother Ricky didn't vote for. He voted for. He didn't vote on the Democratic ticket, and I thought he was wrong. But he voted for Donald Trump, and you know, Donald Trump became the president. Kind of find out there was a lot of Black people voted for Donald Trump, and for the same reason that I'm not voting Democrat now. I'm not voting. It's one Democrat. It's two Democrats I would vote for. I would vote for Dwayne Davis. I would vote for Joe Norwood Jr. or Sr. I would vote for those people there as a Democrat. I would vote for them being on a Democratic ticket. I would not vote for Ramonda Walker. I would not vote for Tybell Lindsay. If Jimmy Smith was to run for re-election and he run against Percy Bland, I couldn't vote for Jimmy Smith. And the only reason why I couldn't vote for Jimmy Smith, I don't know. I'm just telling you, I would have to vote for Jimmy. And the reason why I would have to vote for Jimmy is because I think that we need a younger, more progressive-minded person to run. But Percy done had his chance at bat, and Percy is evil. Percy will use his police force. Under Percy, you had more discrimination lawsuits filed under Percy than any other administration. Our first Black mayor in the city of Meridian, you got Rita Jacks unfairly treated, passed over for promotion, and placed white men and Black men in her place, but both more white men than any other men. You had the same thing happen to Thomas Van, passed over during a Democratic administration, would not put him in place. So under Percy Bland Loretta Lolo and Eddie Ho, along with two other people, were charged with receiving, sending, and possession of child pornography, misuse of a government procedure, misuse of a legal proceeding, misuse by this Black man. So why y'all out there talking about Jimmy's so bad? You better look at it. Jimmy's not so bad here. One thing I can say, the roles in Meridian look good. So if anything else, I can say he done that. But here, I ain't seen nowhere where Jimmy has placed somebody in jail. He didn't like that I didn't support him. I supported him in the primary, help him get across the threshold. He did not like that I didn't support him after that. And he wore his feelings on his sleeve, and he made sure I know that, but he didn't put me in jail. He didn't tell his police chief to go out and throw some trumped up charges on me. Percy Bland did that. So why all of you out there in your feelings about Jimmy Smith, y'all damn it, y'all better get out of your feelings and look at it. Percy done had his chance at bat. Then if Jimmy Smith, if you don't want him there and you allow it's a runoff between Jimmy and Person, then we need to send Jimmy back in the office. That's just what we need to do. I know what some of you are saying. Say you might be upset about the fact. Yeah, I'm upset about going to jail for one day. Yes, I'm gonna file a lawsuit against them for that. But so I'm still gonna vote for Jimmy if it's between him and Person. I just got to. I'm just not gonna deal with that no other way. And you'll hear me say it over and over again. And I'm gonna be out there, hell, I'm gonna be out there holding up Jimmy Smith signs if Percy blame in him. They have a runoff. There's no way we should allow for Percy to come in and get this job back. You know what he did, all the 802. And look, I want to show you guys something, but I don't have it. But I can tell you that I have drew up a lawsuit against Percy Bland and the city of Meridian because of what happened to me. So now look, I'm on the side of the law. If you got me right, you got me right. But I ain't with this shit that you messing with me because I'm talking or I'm saying things that exposing you, things that you've done or things you shouldn't do. And most of his administration was not the most stellar person to be in that job. You had people in leadership position that was not the most qualified, but they were loyal to him. How is it that Chris Reed became the chief of police over Rita Jacks? Or the captain, Captain Ayrton, or any of those people was placed in that position over Rita Jack? How is it that Chief Young, and I have a lot of respect for, brought out a retirement and not that job not given to Rita Jacks? And Jimmy did that. So again, we're getting shortchanged, folks. We're not being treated fairly, and we're not getting what we deserve as a people. We're not getting the best, and it's time for something new. Now I'm hearing that Ron Turner is gonna run. Now, even Ron Turner, I don't know how good he'll do. I don't think he will do that well. I don't think so. So, folks, why do we keep taking people that are not from here, no matter how long they've been here, and putting them in position of authority over? It's almost as if we got to have our slave master telling us what to do. We need to do these things ourselves and stop putting people over us and letting us tell us what to do. How about we get a homegrown person? Let's get somebody actually from Meridian to be the mayor of Meridian. I don't care what color he is. I don't care what the party is. It doesn't matter what the party is. Stop voting based on party affiliation and start voting based on what they're going to do and how they're going to do. You know, I left Meridian and there's some good people in Meridian. It is. There's some people that really care about Meridian. There's some people that really work very hard and things like that. And you know, and there's some people still there. But it's time, folks, it's time for us to sit down. It's time for us to pass the baton. But who we gonna pass it to? We haven't trained our people. We haven't trained them to do anything. And that's not good, you know. I can starting Saturday, folks, you can vote absentee. So I would hope that you go and start voting absentee and vote for your candidate. I wanted to say this is that the Democratic Party need to do a better job of vetting its candidates. You have rules and bylaws, things that you're supposed to go by. And when a person won't do the things that are in those bylaws, and I was on the executive committee, but I'm not on it now. My name might be there, but I'm not on it. I'm not a member of the Democratic Party. I no longer want to affiliate with the Democratic Party. Yes, I will vote. I would vote for a Democrat and I'm not going to run for office. But if I ran for office, I would run as an independent, or perhaps maybe I would probably even run as a Republican. But see, why would you run for a Republican when the Republican Party is not going to embrace you? So I said this to say this is that I look at all the problems I've had. They were created by blacks and by the Democratic Party, or a Democratic mayor, or a Democratic chief of police, or a Democratic, all these things dealing with Democrats. And we just do not do that. I tell you, we are the most forgiving people, and I don't understand that shit at all. I can't understand that why we keep reaching across the aisle. And when I said reaching across the aisle, we keep reaching across getting the most unqualified person for a position and put them in there based on favoritism, nepotism, who we like or who we owe a favor to, and we got to get away from that. We got to stop. You got to look at the community, and if the community is not doing very well, there's a couple other things I want to talk about, and then I want to, I definitely want to talk about this thing. I'm told that uh, one of the people that's going to run for mayor is Chris Reed. And I'm also told that he's going to be the chief deputy under Ricky Roberts if he become the next sheriff. Do I have a problem with any of those things? No, I don't. I understand the strategy. You have less and less people voting each time they vote. There's less people voting. So what we got to do is it's because we're not voting. It's because the young people are not voting. And so I say that, and when I say young people, I'm talking about young black people. Young black people just don't have an inclination. They don't care. They don't care about tomorrow. Not all of them. Some of them do care. Um, I don't think that people like Tabea Lindsay and Ramonde Walker should be in politics. I think they need to one. I think one's in school. I think she needs to stay in school. The other one, I think, is a mother. I think that she needs to focus on motherhood and family. I want to touch upon the medical marijuana law. If you look around, it has not benefited the black community at all, other than the fact that they can go and legally get high now. But it has not. The people that are making the money are not black people. The people that are making money from selling buildings and things like that are not black people, but people from a different. You tell me what black person has made money because they own property in the state of Mississippi. I don't know of any. I'm not saying it's not any, but I know it's not any in the area where I'm from. My nephew had to close his store down. The Carter Foundation, excuse me, the Carter Academy changed their name, and that adversely affected my nephew. I can't understand when a black man would do anything that would adversely affect another black man. I don't understand that. Yes, I do understand that's been going on ever since there's been two black men in the world. And that's sad. That's one of the things too. I know too about private saying, said, damn, bro, you just gonna sue. Yes, I am. I'm gonna sue the state of Mississippi on their medical marijuana law. And probably James Carter and the Carter Foundation probably will be a part of that lawsuit. I'm going to ask that lawsuit be class action status. And the reason why I say that, because I think that the amount of damages in the black community will exceed $5 million. And so I'm going to ask for class action status. So I'm going to take, now that I finished my lawsuit dealing with all this stuff with Percy Bland, I'm going to start on the lawsuit where they made me spend 1 day in jail. Look, I have spent longer than that in jail, but you're not going to make me stay a day in jail until you find me guilty. You understand? That shit there is wrong. Now, if that's the law, damn it, too, but we going to change that law. That shit ain't going to happen anymore. Um, I want to talk about the sex offenders law in the state of Mississippi. I think it's a racist law. I think it's a bad law. In my retirement, I'm gonna file a lawsuit against the state of Mississippi. Also, I have I'm gonna use my son Trey out in California. I'm gonna use his first cousin, I think, and well, y'all can Google his name. I'm not telling you if I don't use him, I use somebody else. But I'm gonna use him to file a lawsuit against the state of Mississippi, asking reparations for all the young black men that have been victimized by the Mississippi sexual offenders law. According to the Mississippi Constitution, a girl that's 14 years old and not chast can have sex with anyone she wants to. What the legislator did is they did amend that law. They did. They did what the Attorney General did not do. He gave an opinion, and everybody, all of the Secretary of State and all the Secretary changed the voters' application and added all 23 of those disenfranchisement laws or violations to the voters' application, meaning that if any of those in there apply to you, you can't sign it. Okay. So, but they did go, they did change the Mississippi Constitution, said that if a girl could not have sex until she's 16 years old. and a girl at 16 can have sex with someone 3 years her senior, meaning that a girl 16 can have sex with someone 17, 18, and 19. A girl 17 years old also can have sex, and she can have sex with someone 3 years her senior. Meaning, if a girl is 17, she can have sex with someone 17, 18, 18, 19, and 20. And a girl that's 18 years of age can have sex with anybody she wants to. Now, see, folks, that's where you got a problem with the law. The problem with the law is that how in the hell you gonna tell somebody they can have sex, they can open their legs up, and then you can tell them who they can mess with. You can go mess with a 16-year-old, 17-year-old. And how about now? Look at this law now, folks, how discriminatory this law is. That if you have sex with someone, you 16, and you have sex with someone that's 20, that 20-year-old, like what happened to my son's first cousin was 20 years old. The mother and the father knew, but they didn't like him. So since they didn't like him, they used that law. And he got 21 years, folks, and he was gone he had to do 7 years straight up. So here he is having sex at 20 with a 16-year-old, went to prison in the state of Mississippi. And most of this has been applied to black people, young black men, not to nobody else. I don't know if any females going to jail for having sex with a 15-year-old male, and so they'll come to sexism. So you got ageism, you got sexism, which is discriminatory in itself. Yes, too bad. I'm gonna file a lawsuit on that. Also, I'm gonna do a pro se petition. See, cause the law is on the book doesn't make it a good law. So then too bad said, damn, bro, you just gonna be suing. It's been bad laws. Ain't nobody else gonna do it. So in my retirement, I can do something good. I can do that. So we gonna make them change that law. I'm gonna make them change the law where you go to jail for 1 day if you charge with domestic violence. I'm gonna make them change that law. That's the first one I'm gonna file a lawsuit on. At the same time, I'm gonna be drawing up the one dealing with the medical marijuana law because they have redlined the black community. How they redline us because you cannot sell, distribute, or grow medical marijuana within 1,000 feet of a school or a church or a daycare. Well, hell, in Meridian, Mississippi, you got a church on every corner in the black community. So that literally redlines the black community. So we own property. I was a member of 3MA and couldn't do nothing on 8th Street because of that law. Got a church across the street. Got a church on this corner. Got a church on that corner. Tornado knocked one down and should have knocked all 3 of them down. Nah, too bad I'm gonna say, don't say that, bro. Well, we got too many churches in the black community. You got churches with it's just power saturated. I'm just telling y'all that we can't get along for nothing in the world. So these are the things that I wanted to talk about. I want to thank you all for listening in. I'm getting ready to close out my show. And I don't know. This is like my first time doing this in a while. What I'm gonna do is we got some comments here, and I don't see KQ, so I guess I'm gonna read these comments, and then if you have any questions or anything like that, make sure you send it to our email address of reachingoutwitheddy@yahoo.com, but we still got reachingoutwitheddy.com where you can go up there and you can leave comments and things like this. So what I'm gonna do is I got to put my glasses on so y'all won't see me squint. Y'all say, what are you mad about? Fred Welch, good evening to you. And thank you for signing in. I hope your family is doing well. Life of Rhea. Hey, baby, I know that's my daughter, Life of Rhea. Hey, Dad, I'm glad you're doing something new. Thank you, baby. Dad's always doing something new. Have to keep it in the short grass, as the truth master say. And I understand. My daughter got... my daughter again saying hello. So she done. Whoever AE is said the City Meridian deserves someone better than Jimmy Smith and Person Bland. And I gotta tell you this is that the City Meridian does. The City Meridian is a great city. It's in a stellar location. It has everything. It has an airport. It has the interstate connecting the north, south, east, and west. and it has I mean, it has the railroad, the railway. It has everything there for Meridian to be a viable community for everyone. But we keep getting the same thing where you get people come in there and focus on one segment of the community. You have the Riley Center downtown. They Smokey Robinson was there, I think, or either soon or either just left. But the tickets are out of reach of most black people, and so you got people that here you have a situation that it's hard to tell that you're in a majority black city because you don't look at the things that are being prepared for the majority black city. You have them focusing on one segment of the community. Look, I don't have a problem with you focusing on one segment of the community, but give me mines too. In other words, instead of focusing on one segment, man, get away from this apartheid. Let's get away from this thing where we're being treated different. There, you treat them one way or better than us. You're making them feel as if they are really superior to us, and that is not the case. It's not the case. And when you start, man, I talked to a woman. I stopped, man. I gotta tell y'all that. I stopped to a woman. I ain't never heard such ignorant nonsense in a long time, but I hear it all the time. And every time I hear it from an ignorant black person. Oh, I get along with everybody. I love everybody. Ain't no such thing as black and white. Is that some bull? That's some ignorant shit right there. I mean, and when you look at all the mass murderers and things like that, I had a friend and him and I was talking, and he was saying he don't see any difference in black people and white people do. That's bull, because when you look at all the mass murder, you look at all the things that, I mean, I just start pointing out all the things they do that we don't do. I know of people done killed their mothers and daddies and all that stuff just to get the money. We ain't too quick to do that. Oh, you got the deviation of the norm. You had the DC killers. That's the deviation of the norm. So you had two black people that was going around sniping folk, but you done had hundreds of white folks that done this stuff. So you always had a deviation of the norm with just certain things that we will not and do not do. Well, I got to send a Tony out to, let me see what I'm gonna say. Let's see it to ENQ. ENQ. That's a Nubian queen. Sending a shout out. But anyway, KQ is cooking now. Oh yeah, we also have a reaching out with Facebook. So if I want to thank you guys for listening. We're gonna do this every week, and it'll get better and better and better and better. And you have things that you want to talk about and things that we need to talk about, then I need for you to send those comments out. You'll find me in Meridian more so now because I'm working on the building down there. Now let me just tell you, I gotta tell you all. I gotta tell you another one of the stories too. Um, I had sold the building, but what I did is I didn't do a warranty deed. I learned that from Emory Kennedy, and I want to thank you from that, Mr. Kennedy. I learned that from him. Instead of doing a warranty deed where you have to foreclose on a person when they don't pay you, you do a deed for contract. It's almost like a lease. Well, it's like a lease, where the meaning that if they don't pay you, you can kick them up out of there in a few days. You don't have to wait till you go to court and foreclose and all that kind of stuff. So I did a warranty deed and I sold the place, and the down payment was substantial. You hear too bad to my bro, what? I gave the church a few dollars, so it was what it was. You know, we ain't finna. Millie Hope taught us to do better than that. But anyway, the down payment was substantial, and they went in there, and I didn't have a handicap ramp there. I didn't have the exit lights up, the emergency lighting, any of that. Those people went there and they did everything. Boy, the city Meridian was on there. Those code enforcement inspectors, they was on them. Now they was on them so bad. I think at some point in time the folks were just about ready to give up and give the building back to me. But guess what? They stayed in there and they prevailed. So I want to thank the city of Meridian. If you was trying to hurt me or you was being so hard trying to make it difficult for me to sell it, I want to thank you. The reason why I want to thank you, City of Meridian, because you got that building up to code. The y'all pass by and look at it. It is so nice. It got the handicap ramp. It got the exit sign. Now you can't break in it unless you drive through there with a tank. They did that. I can tell you. My condolences to the family. They're about to lose a loved one if they hadn't lost him already. The owner of that place. A lot of respect for him. A lot of respect for those people. They were really, they went in there, they did all the wiring, they did everything. So I just want to thank them for that. And so I know what too right here. He's just talking in my ear. So, bro, that's your blessing. You blessed. Yes, yes, yes. That was my blessing. So you heard me say it. Okay. So now on the other side, if you pass by there, that's going to be a 1 bedroom efficiency apartment that I'm going to rent out, including utilities. And so Too Bad won't even stop talking. Said, bro, you've been blessed, blessed, blessed. I guess so. I guess so. I guess so. I want to say this is that and I ain't trying to step on anybody's toes or anything like that. Is that when I was I gotta say this. First of all, I want to thank you, Fred. I just want to thank you. I can't thank you enough. And I just tell you, but it's I have a brother named David Hope, and boy, he been there. And I have another brother named Kurt, and he been there. And I have a sister named Dara been there. But I tell you, this brother from another mother, Lord, Lord, Lord. My other family probably thinking that is he still around? I just ain't had no need to call you because then Fred just been there. And I just want to say thank you, people. And I think what's going on with him is so unfair. And I think that eventually by him standing there and being a strong black man, that he'll be okay. But I tell you, I had some dark nights. I mean, it's been some horrible times for me, like with the attempts on my life, attempt kidnapping, with attempted incarceration without being freed or no bond and all that stuff. Every step of the way, Fred was there. Fred was there, and not met Q yet, but yeah, I call her Triple T. She was there, and I appreciate her. She's a strong black woman, and I can say this is that I will. Uh, she's a strong black woman, and I just want to say thank you to her too. The time she was there.
Okay.
Q, you're back now. What is that you want to say?
Oh, I just came back. I just want to say, like, comment, subscribe, share. You already gave the shout out I wanted to give out, so
Well, you still can give out any shout out that you want to. Don't let, but I do. Don't do that, baby.
I was just
Yeah.
okay.
Any shout outs you want to do it. You can always you can thank anybody you want to thank.
Okay. I forgot what I was finna say.
Okay,
I'm up here cooking, so
okay, all right. Well, folks, again, I want to thank you for listening in. And like the person say, is that Meridian does deserve someone better. But when you talk about better than Jimmy Smith, Percy Bland is not better than Jimmy Smith. There's no way you're gonna get me to agree with that. So and Percy probably have a good chance of winning, but not if I got anything to do with it. Not if I got. He can't fix that. He can't. Can he fix what he did to Rita Jacks? Can he fix what he did to Thomas Van? Can he fix what he did to the city of Meridian? Giving him another chance to enrich himself so that he can buy mansions. When he bought that house out there, folks, y'all need to see where he lived at. He lived in a little cheap ass house off Grand Avenue too far. And when he became mayor, he went and bought Rosenbaum house right there on the corner there, that big old house, and then went in there and spent about $1 million on the remodeling. Yeah, he didn't do that shit with his money. He did that with your money. So why should we bring that nigga back and let him enrich himself and let him make a lot of money at our expense? He didn't do a damn good job. So why do he want to come back to continue what he was doing? Well, he wasn't doing no but lying, cheating, and stealing and robbing. So what do he want to do? Come back so he continue to lie, cheat, steal, and rob? Well, I don't know if Jimmy Smith's stealing anything. I don't know anybody he done cheated. Yeah, he get mad. Yeah, he wears feelings on the sleeve. So what? I still like the man. It'd be better than bring Percy Bland ass back. We're just not gonna do that. So damn it, Percy, I'm already starting on your ass. The only thing you can't do now is you can't have me arrested. No, 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 no. If Jimmy won the job again, give him another chance. That's what y'all said about Percy. Y'all said he only been there one term. That's what you said. That's what you said, Doris Hope Payne, my sister. You said give him a chance. The Dice Man still have that recording. Give him a chance. That's what you said. Well, give Jimmy Smith another chance. Give him 4 more years. All right, y'all have a good day. Thank you for listening.